Hey everyone, welcome to today's video. Today I'll be discussing a few things that I think will be valuable for you when you start out with the title update 6. Now, depending on what it is you have in terms of maybe if you have the year 1 pass or not, these things are going to differ. So when you first log in, when you first start, one of the first things that will be best for you to do is to ignore your gear and ignore your stats. A lot of people have looked at their stats and they've gone straight into depression. And so the reason I say to ignore these stats is because when you start to dig further, when you're ready to dig further, you're going to start to see that there are ways to actually get your build back to where it needs to be. Initially, it will feel like a lot of things have been taken away from you, and yes, but at the same time, a lot of things have also been granted to you. In fact, some things from the PTS have even changed, like Vital in the PTS was given the inscription saying a unique talent does not stack. But now outside of the PTS, Vital actually does stack, and so you can get yourself a lot of health rolls as you're going. There are other aspects as well and other nice talents that have received buffs in the sense that you can stack them. In the case of self-adjusting, it just says unique talent. It does not say any restrictions on stacking. In the case of surge, it does not give you anything saying that it does not that it doesn't stack. So pay attention to those stats. And if you look at hard hitting does say unique talent. This talent does not stack, and it tells you how many that you have, how many iterations of this talent that you have. So be very careful before you jump and react and say, oh no, my build is lost. Your build is most likely intact, but needing for you to make some tweaks as you're going on. The next thing that you need to do is you need to travel as close as possible to stash. That way you can actually throw a bunch of your items into your stash. Your stash space has been increased to about 300. Not about. Your stash space is definitely having the maximum capacity of about 300 items in the sense of how much it can store. And so what you want to do is you want to empty your backpack as much as possible, because this is where you're going to start to farm. And farming has now become something more intricate in the sense that your farming is definitely going to get to a point where you're looking at things in a different sense of saying, okay, now that I've actually been introduced to my new build, how am I going to go out in the open world and look for these things? Then that brings me into the next thing that I would suggest that you do, which is take stock of what it is that you feel that you need. If you need another pair of knee pads that maybe has a stat that you're looking for, write it down somewhere. If you're on PC, get your notepad out, just type it up, or you get a pen and a paper and write it, so that when you're out there farming, you know exactly what you're going to go do, especially now that we have targeted loot all across the map telling you what you can farm here and there. In fact, one of the things that I didn't see in the PTS when it came to targeted loot was the fact that targeted loot sometimes will show in the sense of gear set possible drops. And so in this map that we're looking at close to the Tidal Basin area, we see an inscription here saying that, you're going to get possible gear set chest pieces in terms of the open world here. So there are a lot of missions around here that I usually like farming. If you haven't seen my video on the different routes and all that good stuff, feel free to check it out on my favorite farming loot. It's actually in this area. This is, in my opinion, one of the fun places that you can farm and get a lot of items as quickly as possible. Now, with these three things, I feel like you're going to be able to go ahead and start out with the new update in terms of catching up, in terms of, modding your gear back to what it is you wanted it to be, or maybe even getting stronger. Now, in terms of specializations, if you don't have the year 1 pass, you're going to have to start working your way through some kind of field research. I think I can probably still activate it. Usually it gives a whole bunch of rewards and all kinds of stuff. What does this say? This says a shuttle mod. Kind of a skin is what it's going to be giving in this sense. And so you can go ahead and you can do it, and you can also get the blueprint. This is called the send-off. This looks like the KSG to me. So this is definitely something that even a lot of people who already have the season pass are probably going to be doing. So I'm definitely going to be doing this field research. I didn't do the field research for this specialization because Sure, I did not want another MG5. Even though it was giving me a blueprint, I wasn't really interested in getting that. But these KSGs, I'm really interested in getting them. So before I end the video, one other thing that I would recommend you doing is to actually go and purchase an account shared material mod, which pretty much shares all your materials across all your accounts. This is definitely going to be very worthwhile for you, especially the fact that once you start to grind and once you start to get items, it's going to provide you a lot of value in the sense of being able to use all your materials across the board in all your characters. So if you maybe have a build in one character that you're just going to modify real quick and then swap to the other characters that you have and then start modifying builds, this is definitely going to be something that will work out for you. So these are a few things that you can do when you first start. I don't know what else to say in terms of, I'm just curious as to how you guys see this patch and how you think this patch has landed. Let me know in the comment section and let's have a conversation. And if you want to tell me in the comment section, hey, this game is dead, don't play this game anymore, feel free to go ahead. But every comment that I see saying this game is dead, I'll make 2 videos in honor of those comments. That's usually how I am. I'm very stubborn. So leave comments. Let's hear your own opinions and your thoughts. And I guess I'll see you in the next video. Peace.